All right, in this series of videos, we're really focusing on trying to learn the basics and make sure we know the basics of C#. In the previous video, we did something incredibly simple. We created a very basic console application. We're now going to extend that. And one of the first things I would normally cover is like how to assign things to variables. We're already doing that a little bit here. We have this var name. We ask this question, what is your name? And then we come in here and we do a console.read line. That's going to read a single line from the console, from that little window that's going to pop up. And we're going to enter our name, and then it's going to display it back to us. Let's try this. Now, sometimes it may take a few seconds for things to build and run. Sometimes they're going to be almost immediate. I'm using Visual Studio running on a VM, on a virtual machine, running in the cloud. So things probably aren't going to be as fast as they could be if you're running on your machine. One thing nice about .NET is you can run it on a variety of platforms. You can run it on Mac, Windows, Linux. This example, I'm using Visual Studio on Windows, which is probably the best platform for doing .NET development. I personally do most of my development for .NET using Writer on a Mac, and it's actually a really great experience as well. We'd have this, it pops up a little line here. It says, what is your name? It does that because of this line here in our program, console.writeLine, what is your name? Hence there, I'm going to type in Chad, press enter. Oops, I accidentally put a little quote there and said hello Chad with that quote. Put the little quote there because I'm not a wonderful typer. And we get that. And that's what this little bit of code does here. Now, there's a few interesting little nuggets here, but one of the first ones I want to cover that I think is fairly important is this notion of top-level methods or functions or statements. Here, top-level kind of statements. These are running without a main. Up until I think it was like around C#10, this wasn't possible. This is a new thing that's been added to C#. And I do think it's something you're not going to run into a lot, but if you are doing this, it's going to be like something fairly new. Most C# programs created today are probably being created this way, where we are using a top-level statements. This could have been rewritten, and up until probably C#10 or something, it would have looked like this. We would have created a class for our program. The name of that was completely arbitrary. Everybody used program though. And we would have had a static void main, a static main method that would have passed data into our program. These two are equivalent. I actually can't run this. If I try to build this and run this right now, it's going to give me an error. And anytime you see an error, it's going to say there are build errors. Would you like to continue and run the last successful build? Always say no. We want to look at those errors. We almost never want to run something, especially when there's build problems. We're just walking into a bad thing. Let's get things running first. We can't have two mains is effectively the problem. Or we could, but it won't have to be marked as partial. We shouldn't do that. I can fix this by commenting that out. Now, notice I did a quick block comment there. All editors, or almost all editors, support some notion of this. In this case, this is equivalent to going to Edit, Advanced, and toggle line comment. That's effectively what I did, line comment there, not block. I don't know why I said block, but line comment. Boom, and I put it back. I did that using a keyboard shortcut. It's good to know keyboard shortcuts, but you can use that up there as well. Again, you're going to get something like this in almost every editor. Now if I run, what is your name? I can do it again. Get hello Chad, and we're done. All right. And we can put this back. And if we do that, we can't have this. So I'm going to delete that. And we can run it again. There's your name. And it'll give us something back. That's the notion of top-level statements. It's not, again, something we're going to run into a lot, but I wanted you to be aware of it. It could affect how things are running, especially if you're running some older code. It's very important to know. It's a good start, though. All right, we'll jump into the next video. We're going to get into variables.